Hello and welcome to the show. I'm your new host, Whitney Stinson. Tonight we roll into the ring of a demolition derby, reps from the Lloydminster Men's Shelter pay us a visit, and we sit down with the MLA of Cutknife Turtleford. All that and more tonight on Around the Region. The Men's Shelter is seeing record high numbers. They'll join us later in the show. Plus, Demolition Derby is one of the meanest events on wheels. How and why these drivers face the fear, coming up. Joining me now is MLA Michael Chism, MLA for Cutknife and Turtleford, who had just announced that he is not seeking re-election in the next election. Welcome, Mr. Chism.
Thank you.
Thanks so
nice
much for coming on.
Great.
So you've been in this position since 2003. This is going to be a big change for you.
Yeah, for sure. When I ran or decided to run in 2003, I'd kind of decided even at that time that 2 terms would be probably the amount of time that I was prepared to commit to this little venture, and the 7.5 years or 7 years so far has gone really quite quickly, and I'm sure the last year will go quickly too. So it's been a great experience.
Why only 2 terms? Why was that the goal?
Well, I guess part of it's your age. I mean, I'm getting to retirement age, and I didn't. It was never my plan to retire as a politician. So I've got other things I'm interested in still pursuing. So
during your course in office, you went from being the opposition to sort of being the party in power. Can you talk a little bit about that shift and how that sort of affected your position in Cutknife Turtleford?
Yeah, that's a good question. In opposition, for me as a first-term member, I thought it was a really good opportunity as a training period of time rather than being directly right into government. I can also tell you that it's a lot more enjoyable being in government than it is in opposition. I'm not by nature a pessimistic type person, and yet that is kind of in our system, that's kind of the role of opposition, is to find fault and to and I find it a lot more uplifting to be on the government side, where you can actually be positively speaking about your programs and where you hope to go.
So you can safely say that you've enjoyed the last half of your sort of term way better than being in the first part of your term?
Yes.
Yeah. What are some of your proudest sort of highlights from your last 2 terms?
Going back to 2003, when I look back now, Saskatchewan was a have-not province. The Premier at that time said we would always be in and out of equalization as a have-not part of the world in Canada. Our young people were leaving in droves from the province. I had 3 sons, and they all left Saskatchewan. And as a 4th-generation family farm, that's not always the most pleasant experience. And I've seen to where we are today. Definitely a have province, a leader in Western Canada and Canada as a whole. Young people are coming back to Saskatchewan enthusiastically. Property values have increased drastically in Saskatchewan, which certainly for property owners is a tremendous benefit. We've seen a lot of major improvements in our infrastructure, particularly I would say in the last 3 years. When I look back on where we were in 2003, where we are now, I much prefer where we are now.
That's a good way to leave.
Right.
What about directly sort of in your constituency? What sort of happened locally that you are really, really proud of? Okay,
a number of projects really. Just in Maidstone, we had a major expansion to a home for the disabled. During the last couple of years, they finished up a new housing project for seniors that was basically done by the local community, but in which the government was able to offer some support. Highways have improved drastically in our area. And then when I look around to the other communities, I see improvements in Edam, major construction project underway right now on their arena. I was in Lashburn a couple weeks ago opening their new town office. So as I look around our constituency, I can see a lot of projects that have come together.
Well, that must be really rewarding.
It is. It's great. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to talk about some of the challenges facing the next MLA for Cutknife Turtleford. welcome back to the show. We're just in the middle of a conversation with MLA for Cut Knife Turtle Road, Michael Chism. So Michael, why don't we talk about some of the things that you're maybe not so proud of? I mean, you were the legislative secretary there, and you had sort of a run-in in 2008. How do you think that's affected your current time in politics?
It certainly was a mistake on my part that I readily admitted, and I found that my constituents were probably more understanding than I thought they might be. And basically I went back to my constituents to see whether they thought I should continue on this journey, and I got a lot of good support, so I'm pleased that I was able to move on.
I mean, that's a good accomplishment. I mean, you made a mistake and you turned it around in politics. I mean, not a lot of politicians can do that. Some of them, that just would totally end their career. Have you seen that? Like, do you feel grateful for that?
Yeah, I'm grateful that certainly that our premier, although we certainly all realized it was a serious slip up, stood behind me and kept me involved in a lot of the work that I was doing as legislative secretary, which I continue to do to this day.
That's excellent. So let's talk about some future candidates. When are we going to see? I mean, we do have one NDP candidate, Bernadette Gopher, I believe is her name, who has stepped up. Not an official candidate as of yet. When are we going to see sort of a SAS Party candidate?
Well, my understanding is that we'll probably be holding a nomination meeting in late fall this year, and I'm not fully aware of all the interest that might be. I expect there will be a number of people step forward, and it's a great constituency. We certainly won by a comfortable margin in the last election. Our finances are in good shape. Our government's in good shape. Our leaders in good shape. So I would think it's a real opportunity for somebody that wants to take advantage of it.
What kind of person would take advantage of this? Like, what do you have to? What kind of sort of qualities should you have if you're going to sort of run for a position like this?
Well, I like to think that the person that decides to go this route feels that they have something that they can offer in whatever, from their own experiences. Certainly there's more young people getting involved, not directly out of school. I wouldn't recommend that.
Right.
I think some life experiences, be it business, be it your own business or working for somebody else, or those are important things to bring into the job so that you have a better understanding of other people's situations.
Right. So what's next for you? I mean, are you going to sort of be, do you hope to be sort of a mentor to this next person running your constituency?
Well, I'll certainly be assisting, and let's say that somebody is selected this fall. I'll certainly be more than available to try to work with them to make sure that they are successful. And certainly, a number of the files that I've been working on in government over the next year and a bit, I'll be passing on to someone else and helping in that process.
We're running out of time here, but let's just go with one final question here. How would you sum up your career in politics? Are you leaving with a sense of accomplishment? Has it been a positive or negative sort of experience?
Well, to be quite honest, I didn't have any idea what it would be like when I got in. So to measure against something that you didn't have a measuring stick, have I enjoyed it? Somewhat. Is it for everybody? No, for sure not. What I have appreciated is the support I've got from my constituents, and being able to help them in sometimes very small ways to work their way through the government system, and so that's been beneficial.
Thank you so much for coming in, Michael Chism. It's been great to talk to you.
Thank you, Whitney.
Thank you. This was our conversation with MLA Cut Knife Turtleford, Michael Chism. Later in the show, we check out Lloydminster's Demolition Derby and go on a quest with one driver to bring home the trophy.